Maybe I can speak to this. So as my role as a graduate student in the course, often I can make a really crappy version of a lab, a first draft of a lab, and then we can run it and with the LAs, and I think they are the ones who ask these really interesting and critical questions that we then put into that sheet so that all LAs can kind of benefit from that. So I think a lot of the resources that we put on that sheet are going to be based on actual LAs kind of thinking through what the challenges might be for students in the classroom. And of course, we have some kind of instructional goals layered in there as well. So these are the things we're trying to get away from this activity. So, if students are stuck, or if students are kind of circling around the wrong part of that activity, that the LAs feel that they can push them in the right direction or have them move forward with.
Yeah, Avilash is highlighting an important thing about how we use LA. So we have these weekly prep meetings like most programs do, but I think a lot of people think of those prep meetings as a place to make sure that LAs know the right answers and that they feel confident about the material. And we use our prep meetings largely to practice. So we get the LAs doing the things, and then we really listen to them about the things that didn't go well or that need to be restructured. I'm thinking computational activities. Sometimes we write code that looks really obvious to us, and the LAs that look at it and they're, what do you mean by this thing? So even really building variables or thinking about how we're presenting it to students, we change all of that. So when I am thinking about running that design meeting, I build in time between running the design meeting and running those activities for change, right? And so the student-facing materials change, and then also, as Avilash was describing, some of those key questions that the LAs ask end up showing up in their support documents. And some of those things even happen after we run the class, right? So sometimes the LAs are circling back and saying, oh, we really should have done that. And I'm okay, we'll put that in the document for next time. So I think of those prep meetings as not just prepping for the LAs to run the class, but prepping for the class. And that means all of those things folding in together.
And thinking about kind of after the class, using LA input, I've seen it from the small grain size of this activity, these steps in this activity need to be rearranged, or some more scaffolds need to be put in, or even, hey, this lab should have come before this because this content sequence is nicer. And so I've seen both of those changes be put in for the next iteration. And so LAs are, really shaping what gets put out there.